Hey gang, in case I forget to say this in the later part of the lesson, don't use tab for this lesson, okay? No tab. Tab is the enemy of melodic playing. Got it? All right, now on to the lesson. Hey gang, today we're going to do a lesson on melodic playing. Now I've had a lot of requests for this, and we're going to do it in a number of stages to keep my sanity and to actually build it up, I think, to give it justice, to do it justice. So we'll do it in a number of stages. Now, let's start from the very, very start. You know, we've all heard players that we love and admire or whatever because they can just really bring out more than just licks out of the guitar. I'm thinking in rock, I'm thinking of players like George Harrison or Eric Clapton or Neil Schon maybe, or Leslie West. The list goes on, right? Peter Frampton, and of course Carlos Santana. All of those players could really drag memorable phrases out of the guitar that were not just licks, and really playing melodically. If you're thinking of even shredders, right, you can think of maybe Steve Vai does a lot of melodic stuff, or one of my favorites, Andy Timmons, really plays very melodically when he plays his slower numbers. And of course, you know, who could forget about the great Larry Carlton and his solos in like Kid Charlemagne or Haitian Divorce. Just an incredible melodic player. Well, I've seen a lot of lessons on YouTube where they talk about melodic playing, and most of it is about articulation, how you articulate various things, or it's about playing chord tones. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about something very, very obvious. In fact, it's so obvious people don't mention it. But in order to play melodically, you have to have it. And it's really actually simple. In order to play melodically, you have to know melodies. So learning melodies is, I think, a key to this. It's not just learning how to articulate. It's not just learning chord tones and things like that. It's not just learning a progression. It's actually learning songs, real songs, and playing the melodies to that. Now, if you're into jazz, it's actually pretty simple because you look at all those jazz standards, they have a lot of melodic content in them. But in rock, not all songs are very melodic. You know, I'm thinking of stuff like Johnny Be Good. You know, that's not a very melodic song. Da 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 da. Not a very complex melody. You know, so offshoots like that, like if you listen to Ted Nugent, great player, but he's not a very melodic player. He's great right hand. He's mostly playing licks. You know, the first thing to do is if you want to play melodically, you have to listen to some melodies. You have to listen to some players who play melodically. So you can, that's sort of a first assignment. You can pick whatever your guitar player is that you think plays melodically. Think of, or better yet, think of a song like say Journey's Don't Stop Believin', or the Beatles' Let It Be, or something that has a lot of melodic content to it. Mountains theme from an imaginary Western. All those have a great melodic content of it. And what we're going to do is we'll learn a melody. We're going to practice the technique by learning a particular song today, Bell Bottom Blues by Derek and the Dominoes. Which I think is a pretty it's pretty melodic, but it's also pretty simple. All right, so let's start from the start. Now I happen to know that it's in the key of C, but that just kind of comes from a long time ago. So I do have a starting note here. The key, what I think is the key, is that you have to be able to sing it. And so if that means singing along to the song, great. If it means just humming the words or doing dot, dot, dot like I was doing to Johnny Be Good, that's fine too. But we're going to do it with this one, and we'll just do it for the beginning just to give you an idea. And so the song, I'm giving myself a start note. All right, there it is. Bell Bottom Blues, you made me cry. I don't want to lose the feeling. So that's what we're going to play over, okay? So that's the first. Let's learn that first phrase. Bell Bottom Blues, or da 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 da. Okay, it's pretty simple. Now, if you're not used to doing this, it's going to take you a while for your ears to find the right place and all that. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I wish I had done this hundreds of times. I'd be pretty good at it right now. But as it is, I still struggle a bit. So the technique that I start to do is I try to do it on one string horizontally first, because I find that that's easier and it helps me understand the intervals. So bell bottom blues seems to work. You made me cry. You made me cry. Cry. Now that screams out for a bend, but we're not going to bend. That'll be maybe for a different lesson. You know, something like that. It'll give you the articulation we can get later. But let's just get the notes first. So bell bottom blues, you made me cry. Okay. Now that we've got it horizontally, now I'm going to go vertically and see if I can get notes on adjacent strings that work. So bell bottom blues, you made me cry. Okay, so that was kind of interesting. Blues, you made me cry. All right, now that I know it vertically and I know it horizontally, I can then try and do this on other strings as well, okay, and find it in different octaves. So I know it started on a B there. I could, for example, find another B, like this B on the first string right here, and play it. Bell bottom blues, you made me cry. Okay, or I could do it on the second string, etc., right? Bell bottom blues, or bell bottom blues, and all of those are going to have a different sound to it, and when you play them vertically also in that area, they're going to give different finger positions and things like that. You'll learn really well what that melody is, and when you want to stray from that melody, if you're trying to improvise over it, you'll be able to do it. Eventually, once you start learning that, you'll start getting the, you know, where to slide into things, and you'll start to play around with it. You know, stuff like that. And then, you know what? I just realized that melody is very much like Danny Boy. If you're familiar with the very well-known song Danny Boy, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. Very similar to that. So there's a good example of knowing one melody actually helps you with another melody. All right, that's it for today, gang. That's all we're going to do. What I'd like you to do, if you want to keep going on this, first of all, comment and see if we want to keep going into things like chord tones and understanding the harmonic structure. But first, getting down the rhythm by listening to an actual song and getting down the melody, which is related to the rhythm, which has rhythmic content, are the first two pieces. If we're thinking of a song as rhythm, melody, and harmony, getting that rhythm of the melody and getting the melody down, super important, because it's going to let you talk when you play the solo. You know, after all, the guitar solo is really a substitute for the singer's voice, right? When the singer steps aside and says guitar solo, go for it, the guitar is imitating the voice. And sure, a guitar can do things that a singer can't do and vice versa, but it's helpful if we can learn how to make the guitar talk, right? And learning melodies is, I think, the key thing to starting to do that. All right. Until next time, gang. We'll see you on down the road. Don't forget to leave your comments and suggestions for the next one, okay? See ya later.